Since your last visit, I have laid out the boundaries of the town, which the diggers are trenching so we may build a wall.
Master James, what sufficed in King Henry's time...
With due respect, my lord, I have travelled throughout Europe and the Holy Land, studying the great military architecture. Your castle will be the strongest yet seen in the kingdom.
I'm glad to hear it.
It is laid out in defensive rings. The outer curtain wall will measure 300 feet on each of its sides and will be defended by towers and gatehouses. If by any chance, an extremely unlikely one, the attackers succeed in penetrating this area, they will be thwarted by the inner curtain wall, 12 feet thick and 35 feet high, with 50-foot-high towers. An intruder would virtually have to fly to get in.
That should hold against Prince David and his Welsh rebels.
In the centre of the inner ward, we have the living quarters for yourself and Lady Catherine, your children and servants.
My wife is a particular sort of woman. She will not relish living in a forsaken outpost. See that you make her quarters as pleasing as possible.
You may have my assurance of that, my lord. Over here will be the barracks for the soldiers, here the great hall and kitchen and storerooms, and here in the safest part of the castle will be the well.
The castle is only as safe as its water supply.
And the town, it will be a simple grid of streets and blocks to be further divided into lots.
Very good. But the town defences?
The 3 entrances in the town wall will be fortified with double-towered gatehouses, which should prove quite effective.
Most impressive.
And as the wall grows, the space in between is filled with rubble. Materials are carried up the walls on scaffolding supported by put logs set in holes in the walls themselves. We find this the most efficient means of construction. We use hoists and pulleys to lift lighter materials and tools. You understand, sir, that the windows near the bottom of the walls and towers must be small enough so that an enemy soldier cannot climb through. All the windows will be protected by iron grills and can be closed off by wooden shutters on the inside. In your living quarters, your gracious Lady Catherine will be pleased to note that each window will be fitted with glass. Of course, the tops of the walls will be crenelated with embrasures and merlons. Each merlon will be capped by 3 fearsome-looking finials. I have provided for arrow loops in the merlons for your archers. With a wedge-shaped recess cut out of the stone, the archer may aim anywhere across his vision without exposing himself to the attackers. One of the many refinements that adds up to the greatest castle I or any other Englishman has ever built. Since the gatehouses are most vulnerable, I had to design them with great care. First, a heavy timber portcullis can be lowered to block the entrance. And beyond that, a set of wooden doors which cannot be opened when the drawbar is slid into place. Arrow loops in the towers allow the archers to rake and pepper the area. And then, of course, there are murder holes cut into the ceiling, through which soldiers above can attack any intruders in the passageway. But that would imply that they could even reach this point. Rather difficult, because the gatehouse defences begin with the drawbridge. The inner end is weighted, and when supports underneath are removed, that end swings down into a pit, lifting the other end high above the moat.
Most efficient.
And now, my lords, the inner ward, the very heart of the castle.
In October of 1288, more than 5 years after Master James set out the first boundary markers, Aberwyvern Castle was finally completed. The entire outside of the castle was whitewashed, making it look as if it had been carved from a single gleaming piece of stone.